pass from Lee. Berkowitz's point after made it 21-0. In the second quarter, with 8:30 remaining, Demetrius Thompson had a 66-yard touchdown pass from Lee. Berkowitz's point after made it 28-0. With 4:34 left in the second quarter, Stephen Chupp had a 14-yard touchdown pass from Byler. Nodine's point after, Shelby led 28-7. With 3:34 left in the second quarter, Isaiah Bridges, a 67-yard touchdown pass from Lee. Berkowitz's point after made it 35-7, and that was the halftime score. With 3:18 left in the third quarter, Jalen Petty, a 7-yard touchdown run. Berkowitz's point after made it 42-7. And in the fourth quarter, 2 touchdowns by Polk County against the Shelby Reserves. With 9:16 left in the fourth quarter, Micah Simpson, a 4-yard touchdown run. The point after was wide left, and Shelby led 42-13. And then with 3:25 left in the ball game, Chubb with a 28-yard touchdown pass from Byler. Nodine's point after made it 42-20. And that was the final. Shelby won 42-20, and a dominant performance by the Golden Lions. A game attempt, hard fought, good play by Polk County, but they just didn't have enough to stay with the Golden Lions. That 21-0 first quarter effectively put it out of reach.
Yeah, you could see how they beat a lot of teams. They're solid. They have good athletes at the skill positions. They got a tough quarterback, and they can run the football.
Yeah, offensive line blocks well, and again, they scored 20 points. And we said for them to win the game, it needs to be 28-21, something like that. And we said if Shelby gets out and scores 40 points, it's going to be over, and we were right on that.
Yep, absolutely. They finished 7-4. Shelby improves to 11-1, and they will host East Gaston, who did defeat Forest Hills 41-21 tonight, and move on to the third round. What a year for East Gaston too to do that.
Absolutely.
Especially after what they've gone through the last 2 years.
And they are dangerous. They have running backs that you just you got to play well. Shelby blitzed on. I mean, you were doing the game, I think. Yep. Shelby got out and jumped out, 3 touchdowns right away.
Blocked a punt for a touchdown and then just poured it on.
And then from that point, after they got a big lead, it kind of bounced around a little bit. Not unlike the game tonight, except they can go 80. They had a couple of 80-yard touchdown runs. It seems like if I was listening to you.
Yeah, they got the Hill guy and then McKinley, and they can both take it to the house on you. And a good quarterback. So that'll be a good matchup next week. Final stats for Shelby Golden Lions tonight. Passing, Dalen Lee, from what I understand from Jim Sherman, set the single-game passing record for Shelby High tonight. That's a 110-plus year record, Jeff. There's been a team here. And so 17 of 22, 500 yards, 4 touchdowns. Drew Hollifield was 0 for 1. Santana London 1 for 1 for -3 yards. Receiving, how about this? 3 receivers over 100 yards for Shelby tonight, led by Isaiah Bridges. 5 catches, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jakeith Hamilton had 4 catches for 133 yards. Luke Williams had 3 catches for 109 yards and 1 touchdown. Demetrius Thompson had 3 catches for 85 yards and 1 touchdown. Jalen Petty had 2 catches for 35 yards, and Landon Gouldsby 1 catch for -3. Rushing, Jalen Petty 8 carries for 36 yards and a touchdown. Drew Hollifield 4 carries for 10 yards and a touchdown. Bryson Key 2 carries for 11 yards. Dalen Lee 2 for -17. Santana London 1 carry for no gain, and Tristan Tate 1 carry for -2. Shelby only 38 yards rushing when you count the sack yardage, and 497 passing for 535 total tonight. But 409 in the first half is what put the game away.
Absolutely.
It's time for our players of the game. We'll start with our defensive player of the game, sponsored by Falston Pharmacy.
There were a lot of choices. We went with Malachi Hamrick. We felt in the first half when the game was in doubt, he made a number of big plays, had 1 big sack. 2 or 3 times he forced a really early quick throw, a rattled throw, and made quite a few tackles. Of course, the secondary was strong. The defensive front was strong. I mean, nobody for Shelby, had a bad game at all on the defense side. Nobody for Shelby, period, had a bad game. It was a dominant performance.
Yeah, Malachi had that big 10-yard sack early. Another couple of tackles in the receiving game where it looked like the guy had, a catch, and then all of a sudden it was a 2-yard gain.
Yeah.
Because he came from nowhere. And Malachi Hamrick, our Falston Pharmacy Defensive Player of the Game. Our Offensive Player of the Game, sponsored by Hojo Powersports, and we went with Isaiah Bridges.
Again, could have picked a lot of different people for that.
Yeah, 3 guys over 100 yards receiving, but he had the most catches and the most yards and the most touchdowns. 5 catches, 138, 2 touchdowns. And how about that kick return that he had where he went over the shoulder and caught it? That was a pretty impressive play as well for Isaiah. He also caught a touchdown that got called back from a penalty. Big game tonight for Isaiah Bridges, our Hojo Powersports Player of the Game, and our overall Player of the Game, sponsored by S&R Auto Sales of Shelby.
When you set the record for most passing yardage in a game, and generally, if you look at those passing yardage records, the vast majority of them are set in losses.
Mm-hmm.
When Shelby when you throw for 400 or 500 yards, you're having to throw for 400 or 500 yards, and you've been behind. But this was a situation where he was just on and made great throws. And just what can you say? 500 yards passing.
Yeah, and he spread it around. I mean, when you have 4 guys over 80 yards receiving and at least 3 catches, you're not just honing in on one guy. You're looking. That means you're making reads, right? And that's what he did tonight.
And we talk about hitting receivers 35 yards downfield perfectly in stride while they were running. So it was a great night.
Big night. And in a game where you had 2 backups come in and spell you, you could have had more yards even. Right. So big night for Dalen Lee, 500 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. That brings his season total, I think, to 41 touchdowns with just 3 interceptions. All of those in one game, by the way. And S&R Auto Sales overall player of the game. Final score, Shelby 42 and Polk County 20. We want to get you over to our post-game show with Kevin and Dennis and JP to talk about all the other scores. We know area scores. We know Crest moved on with a win tonight. We know that Burns lost tonight. They took one. They lost to Hendersonville on the road. And I didn't get the Kings Mountain final, but I believe they were up late. And let's see, they did win. They won 27-17 over West Charlotte. Crest wins 28-15 over West Rowan. Shelby wins. So 3 of the 4 county schools go on to the 3rd round. And be sure to listen to the post-game show where they talk all about it and have the call-ins. For Jeff Jones, Brent Pasco here. We'll see you next week. Shelby 42, Polk County 20. Final score.
Don't be left out in the cold when your car battery lets you down. See the new Napa store in Cherryville. That's Cherryville Auto and Truck Supply. You'll find a full line of batteries and cold weather items to keep you on the road. And they are updating their inventory with new items arriving every day, including Craftsman tools. See Tom and Melody and the rest of the team today at the new Cherryville Auto and Truck Supply, your Napa store, 1313 Shelby Highway 150 West in Cherryville. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturday. Call 704-435-4581. It's time to head on into Classic Volkswagen in Gastonia, where you can get 0% financing for up to 60 months on select models. Come in now and take a look at the all-new Volkswagen Atlas Crossport. And right now, get a new 2021 Volkswagen Tiguan S with front-wheel drive for only $26,169, or the new 2021 Volkswagen Passat SE with front-wheel drive, $424 per month. Come in for all the details at Classic Volkswagen of Gastonia, 4417 Wilkinson Boulevard, online at classicvwgastonia.com. Hey, look, it's Gary Dellinger with Dellinger Electric. Gary, what's going on?
Hey, Calvin, just stopped by to see how the new jingle was coming along.
Well, as a matter of fact, we just finished it up. Want to hear it?
Oh, I can't wait.
Here we go.
When it comes to your wiring, you don't want to monkey around. Call Dellinger Electric. They're the best electricians in town.
Well, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't even give her phone number. And monkey around?
704-435-0705. They're the best electricians in town.
I don't have to pay for that. Do I?
Yes, septic tank problems just stink. Not only are the odors embarrassing, but ignoring the problem can ruin your yard and your plumbing. With over 40 years of experience, Dennis Willis Septic Tank Service in Cherryville knows how important it is for your home or business to have a septic tank service that responds quickly and effectively, preventing further damage and future repairs. Just call Dennis Willis Septic Tank Service, 704-435-2326, 704-435-2326, or visit the website at DennisWillisSeptic.com.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
I am the incredible man. I only do things incredible can. Cause I am seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me. Cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you. Cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
And good evening, and welcome to another Friday night post-game show with Kevin Hastings, Dennis Davis, JP, and we have a guest in the house tonight. We have Mason Beam.
Hey, JP, got a name right. Got a name right, cut out kid out of babe.
I'm surprised you remembered your own name.
We're all so surprised that he got his own name right. He's pretty good at that, Dennis, but our guest.
Well, since he got that new tattoo, with JP on it.
Oh, okay. He remembers his name now.
That's not even funny.
Where'd you get that?
Although that's a good idea to get a tattoo with my name on it.
Where's the tattoo at, JP?
Oh, I don't know. I have 3 planned, but
You have 3 planned. Well,
yes.
I just
don't have the money right now.
Oh, okay. I don't even
Moving
know.
right along.
Yeah, let's get it.
Look what you
Well,
started.
show us to talk about the scores. Yeah, that's a better idea.
We've got all kinds of scores to talk about, JP. It's playoff time here in North Carolina, and we had 5 games tonight, folks. And we do know that we had some technical difficulties in some aspects tonight. We'll apologize for that. We'll talk a little bit about all that tonight. We're going to talk to all of our announcers. We had 5 games tonight. We had Burns at Hendersonville. Bearcats win tonight over the Bulldogs. Thomas Jefferson knocks off West Rowan on Waggy. And then Maiden knocked off West Lincoln on WLON. And the WHS split tonight. Crest and Shelby both win. And then we're going to give more scores around the area. Dennis, how about you give the scores we got for the folks right now?
All right. Well, the ones that we got, if I can't see that.
I was going to say, just go by what your sheet is.
Okay.
Just give just finals what you got on your sheet right now.
Okay, the ones I got on my sheet, you got Thomas Jefferson losing tonight to the North Rowan Cavaliers by a score of 34-28. You have Robbinsville Black Knights beating the Cherokee Braves tonight, 46-18. You have Starmount defeating the Andrews Wildcats 27-20. And let's hear it for the Red Raiders from South Point tonight. They went up and took on the number 1 seeded Pisgah Bears and defeated them 27-24. Go Big South. And then you had Forest View playing the Parkwood Rebels, and the Forest View Jaguars won 20-17. Go Big South. And tonight. And then you had the Crest Chargers playing the West Rowan Falcons. The Chargers won 28-15. Did I say go Big South? And then you had the Shelby Golden Lions tonight over the Polk County Wolverines, 42-20. And you had the East Gaston Warriors over the Forest Hill Yellow Jackets tonight, 41-21. You had the Maiden Blue Devils, and I'm not – listen to this score, folks. Maiden 47, West Lincoln 0 tonight.
Well, I'm sorry. You just got a couple more. Go ahead.
Salisbury 49-0 over Bunker Hill. East Surrey 37-20 over Forbush. And in the final score that I know a lot of people are waiting for, drum roll please, Kings Mountain 27, West Charlotte 17, go Big South.
All right, got a phone caller on the line. Jeff Miller is what I'm told. If that doesn't mean it's right, because JP could mess that
up. The
up.
real Jeff Miller?
Is this Jeff?
Yes, sir, and I'm as real as it gets.
All right, Jeff. Good to hear from you, brother. Now, last week, I think you told me you might head down to see Forest View and Parkwood. Is that where you went?
Yes, sir.
Hey, so you saw a fantastic game, 20-17. The Jaguars pull off the win tonight. Tell us about how that game came about tonight, Mr. Miller.
Well, sort of similar to the game I saw last week in Kings Mountain. Forest View snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. Because Parkwood was driving. I mean, they were deep in Forest View territory in the closing minute of the game. And Forest View's Jesse Osborne saved the day with an end zone interception, and Forest View was able to do one kneel down, and that's all she wrote. But I can't forget the other details. Jakeem Denard and Kamari Reed and Austin Parker, the quarterback, all played fantastic tonight, and defense, was outstanding. They had that busted play where Enos from Parkwood, the quarterback, connected with his wide receiver, number 4, who's also a running back. His name slipped my mind. Wisdom, his first name is. And it was a 73-yard touchdown to cut Forest View's lead 13-10, and that's what it would be at halftime. And at number 44 for Parkwood, he was a monster. I'm surprised that he didn't get more attention in that game. He wreaked havoc on defense, and he was an awesome tight end tonight. I mean, he had that one drop, which would have been for a first down, but they ended up having a punt. And, you got to wonder in the back of your mind, if he didn't drop that pass, would they have gone on to score another touchdown? This was like early in the third quarter. I mean, that was that big of a game where every little thing mattered.
Well, Jeff, that sets up a big South rematch. Crosstown, well, not really crosstown, cross the county rival. South Point and Forest View. In their last matchup, South Point won 17-14 in 2 overtimes. You were at that game too, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so tell us how you see this matchup going forward. Obviously, it was an overtime game, won by 3 points in overtime. If I remember correctly, South Point kicked on first down, right?
Correct.
Okay, so South Point kicked on first down to take the victory at Forest View. This time it will be at South Point. We've had some big matchups over the years between these two teams, and none bigger than the third round. So how do you handicap that game, Jeff?
I believe it's going to be similar to this game. I don't know how their game went. It seems like they were just simply one step ahead of Pisgah the entire way. But this game came down to who made the fewest mistakes. And I feel like the game next week at South Point will be that exact same thing. It'll be who makes the fewest mistakes, not just the most big plays, but the fewest mistakes, fewest turnovers. I anticipate that it could be a defensive battle. Forest View's defense is very stingy. I mean, they can give up a big play here and there like they did tonight, but if Forest View's defense is on their game and Forest View has everybody healthy on offense, Forest View is going to be a challenge for South Point, but Forest View's got to account for not just South Point's quarterback and their fullback, who, despite standing at around 5'8" or what have you, he's a beast of a runner. But in that triple option, you can key on the quarterback and the fullback, but then they'll hit you with the wing backs or the split end if they decide to pass. So Forest View's got they got to clean some of the mistakes up that they have made tonight, and they didn't make too many mistakes, but one mistake against South Point could be the difference of the game.
Well, like I said in the first game, it's 17-14 there, Jeff. So, I think anything can happen in this game. Forest View's beaten them, once before? Is that it?
They've beaten them 3 times before. The last time
Gotcha.
Forest View beat South Point was very recent, back in 2019 when it was a 41-21 game. That was their most recent win, and it was their most lopsided win over South Point. So Forest View gets to have another bite of the apple.
Right. I was at the first win. I think we had that on KTC broadcast, actually. Forest View and South Point was our Gaston County game of the week, and I was at that game when Forest View pulled that out. I'm just excited about that one. I'm sure it'll be a big one down in Belmont. Is that where you plan to be next Friday night?
If I can get off work, yeah, that's I'm starting a holiday season job coming on up, so if I am able to make that game, that might be my swan song.
Well, Jeff, I hope you get to make it out there next week. So that'll be the matchup. You got any questions or anything about any other teams in the area or anything else while I got you on the phone?
Yeah, how did East Lincoln do tonight? I didn't hear their score.
Statesville squeaked by 42-3.
Yeah.
Sounds to me like it was East Lincoln with the squeak, but Statesville with the roll.
Lincoln County tonight, Jeff, fell 89-3.
But kudos to them for making to the second round, though. I mean, especially West Lincoln. They've had a good football program lately. I'm very happy for that team. I think there's some more good times in store for them.
Yeah, I think.
And congratulations to Cleveland County going 3-1.
Absolutely, Cleveland County 3-1 tonight, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. We got to talk to Thompson and Fonnie in just a moment. Jeff, any other things you want to say to us before you get out of here? Maybe for the year, you're going to start. I guess you're going to. Did you say you're going to be Santa Claus at a mall? Is that what you said you're going to be?
I'm probably fat enough to be Santa Claus.
It's the beard, Jeff.
But,
it's the beard.
But I need to age a little bit. I just turned 39, so.
Okay. Well, happy birthday. When was it?
This past Sunday.
Oh, congratulations,
So
Jeff.
Halloween, baby, huh?
A week after Halloween. I was supposed to be Halloween, but I didn't.
Oh, gotcha.
I didn't want to be a Halloween baby.
All right, Jeff, well, you have a good weekend and take care, and good luck for you. Happy holidays to you and your family as well. Hopefully I get to talk to you next Friday night.
Yep, hopefully so. Thank y'all.
All right, Jeff.
Jeff Miller, CarolinaVarsity.com. He mainly takes care of us in a Gaston County game of the week for us, and this week he went down to Parkwood, Monroe to see that Forest View victory on the road. Dennis, I got all finals right now. JP, do we got a caller right now, or are we good?
JP.
Are we good right now, or do we got a caller? All right, so let me give the scores real quick tonight.
Sure.
And set up the matchups for everybody at home. If you're watching at home, obviously the teams that you see the scores, but the teams playing each other are right up next to each other, so it's easy to follow along. All right, so here we go. We're in the 1A bracket. Let me give these real quick, and then we'll get over to Steve Degree. Eastern Randolph 55-20 over Drone. They'll face Murphy, who won 22-10 over Mountain Heritage. North Rowan wins in overtime at Thomas Jefferson 34-28. Robbinsville is who they'll face, 46-18 winners against Cherokee. Mitchell wins 49-14 over Swain County. They'll face Thomasville next Friday night, who won 34-0 over South Stokes. Starmount wins 27-20 over Andrews, and they'll face the Mount Airy Granite Bears, who won 48-0. I think 2 weeks, Dennis, they've scored about 120-0 for Mount Airy. And tonight, 42-20 victory in Shelby Town, and we're going to talk to Steve Degree as they win 42-20 over the Polk County Wolverines. Steve, we got you there, buddy?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, Steve. What's up, man? 42-20 victory tonight. Golden Lions win at home. That sets up a game next week, a rematch with East Gaston. Talk a little bit about I mean, not about me, but about our Golden Lions tonight and how you guys pulled out victory against the Wolverines.
Well, actually, our guys have practiced pretty good all week. We had a good game plan going into the game. We knew that they maybe want a 3-man front, and that safety would bite a few, so we were able to go over top with some passes. I think Dalen had thrown 4 touchdowns in the first half. And it was a real hard-fought ball game. We just had more kids than they did. They had about 7 or 8 kids going both ways, Kevin. And we just warmed down. And our receivers, Isaiah Bridges had 2 touchdowns, and Thompson had 1, and old Albert Luke Williams, like I started calling him Wicked Pro, he caught 1, and he ghosted on him down the sideline. Showed some speed I didn't know the young man had. And, of course, Malachi Hambrick, Santana Hopper played a great defensive game. Scored halftime was 35-7. And second half, we let our JV kids play. And they were able to score 2 on our JV squad. Just a real hard-fought football game. And try not to get out with a lot of injuries. Go to the third round. Like I said, we got to play East Gaston again. Opponent that we know a lot about. Got the fast kid. Hill, I think his name is.
Yeah, Justin Hill.
Oh man, he can really take it to the house. So we're going to have our A game ready to play them again. You know, they say it's hard to play a team twice in one season, but I think our young men will be up to the task. We'll have to have another great practice. So you win by Fridays by what you do on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. You just can't turn it on Fridays. And Coach Wilbank stresses that all week long. And just proud of the young man for being 1-0 this week and continue to roll. A lot of times, Dalen, he had a lot of time to pass. Our offensive line again did a great job.
Well, Steve, looking ahead at that East Gaston game, what do you think the key is, or your ideas? You guys think that to slowing down the East Gaston offense is pretty good. They put up points every week, and like you talk about the running back and the quarterback and everything. What is the key to slowing down the Warriors?
Well, we got to get ahead of them. If we can get up on top, that'll negate some of their run game. We got to get on top of them like we did at Gaston to take the heart from them, because they're going to come to play. They're going to come to play, so we just got to execute. And by Monday, Coach Wilbanks will have a great game plan, and we just have to follow our game plan to the T and play our A game. The further you get in the playoffs, the harder the games will be.
Any question?
Well, I tell you what, Steve, Shelby, I was just looking ahead. You got the East Gaston game this coming week, and I know you don't like to put things ahead, but looking, Hendersonville and Reedsville also are playing next week. Either one of those contests is going to be a tough match for you too, but the important thing is take care of East Gaston. They've already played you. You've already played them. There's no secrets about what you're going to do to them, and there's no secrets what they're going to try to do against you guys. It's execution and who does not make mistakes. And it comes down to, Steve, one of your favorite subjects, those big guys up front on the defensive and offensive line. What kind of job can they do blocking that East Gaston front four there? Talk a little bit about that. You've seen them play before.
One thing about it, we have to have a different kind of defense when you play East Gaston, because they run the ball a lot. Maybe 4 or 5 man front. You got to stop the run. They run first, and they'll hit you with a little pass every now and then. But you just have to play sound football, gap football, because if the heel kid, if he get loose, we don't got nobody can catch him.
Yeah.
We got to get him before we get out the backfield.
Steve, how many times have you ever said in your life, if the other team has a kid that gets out ahead of you, you don't have anybody that can catch him over at Shelby?
Never.
The kid, he's good. He's a good ball player, ain't
he? Yeah, I'm just being real. I'm just telling the truth. The kid that we thought could catch him, he ain't playing anymore. The house kid, he's our corner. That's the kid that beat him in the 100 meters. He's out. So that's why I say we ain't got nobody on defense to catch him.
Or don't let him loose.
That's right. We have to get him at the corral. We can't let the door open. Keep him in the lion's den, and don't let him get outside.
There you go, Steve.
All right, Steve. You have a good weekend and take care, and good luck this week against the Warriors. And we'll see you. Hopefully, hear from you next Friday night.
I'll call in, win or lose. I'll call. And congratulations to the Prince Chargers and the Kings Mountain Mountaineers. Keep Cleveland County strong.
Yes, sir.
There you go, Steve. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Steve. Have a good night.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, Dennis, we talk a lot about the seedings or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, you don't hear this much from me, but I'm going to pat the Athletic Association on the back for the for the 1 and 2A brackets.
Run tape.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
In the 1 and 2A bracket, In the 1 and 2A brackets, folks, all top 7 seeds have advanced. There's only 8 spots in this round in the West. So in the West, in both the 1 and 2As, all top 7 seeds have advanced. The 9 seed Murphy in the 1A advances to play the 1 seed Eastern Randolph. And we were just talking about East Gaston, the 24 seed, advancing in the 2A. So in both the 1 and 2A, the top 7 seeds, all chalk, advanced to the second round. East Gaston in for the 2A, Murphy in the 1A. Now over in the 3A, Dennis, that's a little bit more silly.
Well, the rankings and the seeds over there are a little tougher. You got to remember there's more teams in that 3A than there is in some of those others. And I say this, and we talked about it on the pregame show, Kevin, like South Point going up there and knocking off the number 1 seed Pisgah.
Mm-hmm.
Why were they able to do that? One, they're a good, solid football team, well coached, got a terrific little back that will just break your heart when he breaks free and gets 200 to 300 yards a game. But it's the competition they play. South Point in this conference finished, 4th?
Something like that.
And look at Forest View tonight. Look at these teams that, they finished down in the rankings as far as their conference. And then they go to these other teams with like the Pisgah number 1 ranking. We're the Bears. We're tough. We're mountain bred. We whoop up on everybody that comes up here. And South Point, people from Belmont, get on the bus, go up the hill, take the victory, and come back home. And now somebody is probably going to end up having to go to South Point.
Forest View. Well, Forest View knows what to expect. They know when they get off the bus, they're behind. And they've played South Point before. If you want to go see a real slobber knocker next week, go to South Point and Forest View. Well, we've got Robbie Roop on the phone right now from the Crest West Rowan game. Crest wins 28-15 over the Falcons. They'll play now North Davidson, who led most of the game, and then Hickory took the lead late with a minute or two left in the game to go up 28-25, but North Davidson scores late to take the win. North Davidson will be at Crest next week. Robbie Roop, are you there?
Yeah, guys, going to be taking on North Davidson. Team Shelby, I believe, seen the state championship game a few years ago. So North Davidson going to get to tangle with Cleveland County once again. But guys, Robbie, as Maury Adams goes, so goes the Chargers.
Yes, that is correct.
Robbie, what kind of fuzzy math and fuzzy geography has North Davidson in the East and the West and the 2A and the 3A?
Well, how about this one, Kevin? How about last year, Shelby and Salisbury playing the state championship game? What in the world got Salisbury into the East last year?
It's those schools that didn't qualify down east, Robbie,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, we talk about some things after you talk about the athletic association getting some things right. Sometimes you just kind of go, okay, if you say so. But anyway, I tell you guys, West Durant was a huge football team. I mean, their offensive and defensive lines were monstrous.
Robbie, I heard you talking about how big these guys were, but I also heard you make a comment or two, and I thought it was very pathetic. These big guys had their hands on their knees.
Right.
Chasing all this speed from Crest. Now, when they hit Maury, I'm sure it hurt, and it took a toll on Maury. But by and large, your description was, and he jumps up and goes back again. And those big linemen, they were sucking wind, if you will.
And really, Dennis, you're right. That last drive, Crest took it about 55 yards, and it was literally, let's run Maury out of the Wildcat that entire drive to get that final score to seal the game away. And that's exactly what they were doing. And you could see Crest saw that they had that front of West Durant on the ropes, and they just kept pounding and pounding and pounding. And like you said, Dennis, you get to the point, if you're that big lineman and that running back just keeps jumping up and he's ready to go again, you're like, golly, what else do I have to do to stop him?
Well, Robbie, one thing I've been critical about Crest, and I want to compliment the coaches and the players, is use of time tonight. They understood, and I think they may have gotten taught this in the previous game, where the team just kept the ball and ran the clock down, and time of possession, and Crest couldn't score when they didn't have the ball. And tonight, I thought I saw them reverse that against this team and try to retain possession of the ball, run the clock down, run the running plays, and dominate the game so that the other team didn't have a chance to beat them.
Yeah, and that's one thing. You're right, Dennis. And what you didn't see Crest break that big. They didn't have that big pass play, that big run. You didn't see it this week, and you could tell it was concerted effort. We're just going to go out there. We're going to grind this game out. We're going to do what we do on the ground. And you've seen it tonight, whether it was with Adams, with Husky, and then he completed a couple passes to Green. But Crest really didn't go to the air tonight. And again, just try to ground that game out and just move on to the next week, guys. A crazy stat that we talked about tonight. This is the first time in 5 years Crest has gotten past the second round. So that's a big win for these kids and a big win for the program.
But the next round, if you take care of North Davidson, you'll have a conference game because you're either going to play South Point or Forest View, neither of which is easy.
Yeah, Dennis, I said, and I'll be honest, me and Tom Sinafani did the Burns Forest View game. And I said, watching Forest View's front then, I said, this team is really good. If they can score the points, they're going to be a dangerous football team because they can do on the defensive side of the ball. And now you look, and I am a firm believer, guys, you go start digging into team conferences and looking at records against who played who, and the cream is going to rise to the top. It's going to happen. And that's why I think you see the Big South after tonight being 8-1, the top four in the Big South with Crest, Kings Mountain, South Point, and Forest View. That is an excellent combination. And I'll be honest, guys, I know Stuart Kramer got beat by West Charlotte last week, but they were playing with Rockmore, who may have been playing at 50%.
Yeah.
If they see a healthy Rockmore last week from Kramer, that game may be a little different. So I think, you've seen some great competition this year in the Big South.
Well, that's what I was fixing to say. And as I called out the scores tonight, I said, Big South, Big South, Big South. Basically, Robbie, it's going to come down to a conference championship to advance to the finals, if you will.
Yeah. And that's one thing, guys. We're talking about East Gaston, and they're traveling to Shelby next week. But that's why you've seen that East Gaston able to make this little bit of run too, because they saw great football teams when they see a Shelby, when they see a Burns. I know a tough loss to Burns tonight against a really good Hendersonville team. And y'all heard you guys talking. If you don't have a game to go to next week, that Hendersonville Reasonable game is going to be ridiculous. How good that football game is going to be. And again, the winner of that one, I feel like we'll play Shelby. Nothing against East Gaston, but it's going to be hard for East Gaston to slow down that Shelby machine right now. But guys, I appreciate the job you're doing. Congratulations to the Chargers. They advance on to the next round, and maybe Cleveland County, and hey, even Gaston County with some of those wins. When Gaston County's at least going to put one more team into the next round. So congratulations to them as well.
Well, Robbie, and not to be negative, but all of the Lincoln County schools lost tonight, so they're out of the playoff picture.
Yeah.
It comes down to Rutherford County lost tonight too. So it comes down to really what we know, where the heart of the football beats in this area: Gaston County, Cleveland County.
You just got to keep winning games, Dennis. If you do that, you got a chance to play for a state championship, and that's all anybody can ask. So, guys, take it easy. I know you got some more folks going to be calling in, and keep up the good work, and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks for the job that you do, Robbie.
I appreciate it. Talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Okay. Well, Kevin, we're back at that point. We got some more scores you want to give out here?
Yeah, we can give up all of the scores. Now we got them all. I'm finishing up.
I didn't think Robbie was going to be that. I'll give the scores.
Well, I'm saying I was just finishing up going through the highlights here.
Oh, okay.
That Robbie was talking about, because I had to walk down the hall a second through the Crest highlights. I'm showing now the last score here by West Rowan. You folks listening on the radio, what he's talking about? Well, this show's live on YouTube as well. So we've got scores and highlights from some of the games around the area, and we talk about some of those. But here's the rest of the scores. Shelby wins 42-20. That faces a matchup now with East Gaston, who won 41-21 over Forest Hill. Hendersonville wins 38-13 over the Burns Bulldogs, and Chase falls 56-24 at the Reedsville Rams. So Reedsville will host Hendersonville next week. Maiden Blue Devils win 47-0 over West Lincoln. Salisbury wins 49-0 over Bunker Hill, so they'll face each other next week. Salisbury at Maiden. Then Monroe beats Robinson 60-29 at home, and East Surrey wins 37-20 over Forbush. East Surrey will host Monroe next Friday night. Make sure I did that right. Yep. East Surrey, yeah, 2 will face the 7 seed Monroe. In the 3A bracket, South Point wins 27-24 over Pisgah. They advance and will host Forest View next week, who won 20-17 at Parkwood. North Davidson wins tonight 31-28 against Hickory. They will travel next week to Crest to face the Chargers 28-15 against West Rowan. Dudley wins tonight 50-10 over Ledford. They will host the Kings Mountain Mountaineers next Friday night, as they won tonight over West Charlotte 27-17. High Brighton 27-14 winners over Concord. They'll travel to Statesville next week, who won big time over East Lincoln 42-3. So those are your scores and matchups tonight. So once again, let's go over next week's matchups. In the 3A, 25 Forest View at 16 South Point. They'll play the winner of 5 North Davidson at 4 Crest. Number 11, Kings Mountain, will go to number 3 Dudley. They'll play the winner of number 7 High Brighton at number 2 Statesville. Then let's go back to the 2As. In the 2As, Shelby, the 1 seed, will host East Gaston, the 24 seed. The winner of that will play the 4 seed Reedsville versus the 5 seed Hendersonville. So you could have Shelby wins, they'll be at home against either Hendersonville or Reedsville, and that'd be a fantastic game no matter what. Maiden will be hosting Salisbury 3 versus 6. The winner of that game will face the winner of East Surrey at 2 versus Monroe at 7. And Dennis, if I'm not correct, East Surrey, they were a 1 seed, right? I mean, not a 1 seed, a 1A team, and they've moved up, right?
I believe that is correct.
Now, they moved up, and Monroe was a 3.
And moved
down. So these two meet in the third round of the playoffs, a former 3 versus a former 1A, and we'll see how this works out.
But Kevin, going back to what we've talked about previously, if we had the roster numbers right now.
That's what I was about to ask, what the rosters are.
I think you'd probably find that the roster numbers are about the same.
Probably exactly. I'll pull that up in a minute just for that. That's your 2A matchups. Over to the 1A, the 1 seed, Eastern Randolph, will host the 9 Murphy. They'll play the winner of the 4 seed Robbinsville, hosting the 5 seed Thomas Jefferson. We'll have that game No, Thomas Jefferson lost.
Thomas Jefferson lost.
I'd pinned that in and wrote that in wrong. That's North Rowan.
Yeah.
The 12 seed will be at Fort Robinson. So I got that wrong on the seeds a minute ago when I said that. So they did mess that up. So the 12 beat the 5 there. So North Rowan Cavaliers pull off the win in overtime over Thomas Jefferson.
By the hair of their chinny chin.
Yeah, they did. Thomasville wins tonight over, and they'll face Mitchell. They'll go to Mitchell next week, 6 at 3 seed, and the winner of that game will face 7 versus 2 Starmount at Mount Airy. All right, JP, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Logan Baker in the Lincoln game and more scores, highlights, and more on KDCBroadcasting.com.
If you're ready to make the great escape, do it with the #1 brand on the water. Yamaha Wave Runners are the most premium personal watercraft on the market, with industry-first features and exciting new products like the all-new 2021 VX Series with audio packages, the much-anticipated Superjet, and the new race-ready GP Series. This is Wave Runner country. See one today at Full Throttle Powersports, located at 100 Indian Walk off I-85 in Laurel.
Get the fire you desire at Future Energy Company in Shelby. Get ready for winter weather with your new Monessen or Low-Pi gas logs or inserts. And see them today at Future Energy Company. And there's plenty of tailgate and or backyard cookouts to be done. See the Green Mountain Pellet Grills or the Big Green Eggs. And see the Badland Series from Big Frig Coolers. All at Future Energy Company, 130 West Graham Street in Shelby. Online at futureenergyco.com. Attention contractors. H&M Industries in Shelby sells wholesale. You get wholesale pricing, like vinyl windows as low as $149 with a lifetime warranty on frames and sash, plus low E argon, extra strength glass as low as $149, plus metal roofing, just 82 cents a square foot with a 40-year warranty. And get vinyl siding at wholesale prices too. That's H&M Industries, 3931 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Call 704-734-9900 or visit the website at hmindustries.com. If we all could be like a termite, that's right, like a termite. See, termites don't receive a stimulus check, nor do they receive an unemployment check. But one thing they do, they work 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. They never take a day off, and they could be working in your home right now. It's time to find out and put them out of work by calling H&H Pest Control and Waterproofing at 704-482-2847. Get your free inspection today. H&H Pest Control and Waterproofing. Online at hhpci.com. Like them on Facebook too. Not one, but 2 big trucks have backed up and unloaded entire truckloads of scratch and dented appliances at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center in Shelby. Now these trucks were packed, nose to tail, side to side, with scratch and dented appliances. Come on in now and buy. Do not wait till Black Friday because they will be gone. The truckload appliance sale is going on now at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. On the right going down, on the left coming up. It's time to get your lawn ready for winter weather. It's time to head to Hojo Powersports and Equipment in Shelby for a brand new Z-Turf Aerator, now in stock and ready to roll. Also check out the lines of Red Max, Husqvarna, and Shindawa trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus Ferris, Snapper Pro, Simplicity, Walker, and Hustler mowers. That's Hojo Powersports and Equipment, 110 Grigg Street off South Lafayette Street in Shelby, online at hojopower.net. It's time to get your home and yard fixed up for the holidays. And fix-up time starts at Hometown Hardware, downtown Kings Mountain. Go by and see Kyle and Howard today. They have everything you need for home repair. And get that yard in shape with grass seed, lime, and fertilizer. You'll find fall plants and mums. Brighten up your home with a fresh coat of paint. And get your home winterized too. Caulk it up. See Hometown Hardware, 110 South Railroad Avenue in Kings Mountain.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
100 years of anything means a lot. And at Honda Motorcycles of Shelby, you'll find over 100 years of combined motorcycle experience. So they must be doing something right. If you're in the market for a new bike, trike, or four-wheeler, or ATV, see the folks you can depend on for sales, service, and parts. That's Honda Motorcycles of Shelby, with over 100 years of combined motorcycle experience. Honda Motorcycles of Shelby, 4402 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby.
And we're back on the Full Throttle Powersports post-game show with Kevin, Dennis, and JP. And I believe we have Logan Baker on the phone.
Logan, is that you?
That is correct.
Well, good.
Yep, that's me.
Good evening, Logan. And I'm going to start off with a number. You tell me what you think.
Logan, who's the Baker?
89-3.
I heard that on the. I heard that they were announcing it on the Maiden from the Maiden press box. You could hear it when they were giving out some local scores. And honestly, when I first heard it, I didn't think I heard it right because I looked over to Matt and asked if he heard it too. So, who was that was doing that? Because I just heard the score.
The 89-3 is the combined loss of Lincoln County tonight.
Oh, well, there was somebody, I'm pretty sure, I thought there was a score that was given out somewhere. I don't know who it was.
We don't have anything ridiculous on ours. The highest thing we got in the 1, 2, and 3A in the West is 56. No, 60. Monroe got to 60. Monroe got to 60-29. No, I was referring to East and West Lincoln tonight falling 89-3. And whether or not both teams may get beat tonight, I don't think anyone had they would combine for 3 points.
No, that was that was shocking. I will just say that. Yeah, that was a little shocking.
Well, I don't know what happened in the Statesville game exactly in East Lincoln, but I'll ask you, and I kind of already know what happened in this Maiden game because we have highlights of it all. It doesn't look like West Lincoln could cover anyone in this game, and the passes were all over the place. And 47-0 later, Maiden wins. Did I sum that up kind of right as far as that goes?
Yeah, essentially. It was just a really kind of all over the place game for the Rebels. I mean, they really, really struggled to really get anything going offensively. Their normal, run game that they have with Avery, the Blue Devils were just all over. They had that just completely zeroed in tonight. So then West Lincoln had to try and get a few other things going at certain parts, but really just I think their biggest play was about a 9-yard run from Trace Gilmore, and that was in the first half. So it was just a very Maiden-dominated game tonight. Really just no answers whatsoever, offensively or defensively, from the Rebels. And yeah, I'd say 47-0 is a pretty accurate score for how that game went. Just the speed of Maiden's receivers, they just looked like one team that really deserved to be there and one that didn't whatsoever. So, yeah.
Well, with all what did Maiden do to shut down that running game? But Avery's been running all over everybody. Didn't matter who they play, and this is just surprising to me. Again, we're looking at the highlights, Maiden throwing it up in the air and stuff, but that has nothing to do with how great Maiden's defense actually played. And before this game, folks, they'd only give up 81 points in 11 games, and now they've only give up 81 points in 12 games.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing they did was really, that they were winning at the line of scrimmage, and in doing that, they were getting in the backfield and really kind of almost stopping Avery before he could even get going. He just, like I said, at all times, it just looked like he was kind of running away from guys, whether he was just trying to run up the middle or if they try to do something, and bounce out the outside. Maiden was all over it at all times, really. They just, like I said, it was a very well-executed game defensively for Maiden, and their offense, like you said, the highlights, I'm sure, online, their offense was explosive tonight. Their quarterback, Rhodes, was just on fire. He brought his A game, and then when you have guys like Culliver and Hall and Gibbs all back there around you as well, that can really make things a little bit easier as well. So it was a very. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, watching the highlights, you're right. It's just pass, deep. On West Lincoln here. It looks like a couple touchdowns called back from Aiden. I guess they end up scoring anyway. I guess
they did.
Quick, before the season is over, Logan, if you want to sum up the Lincoln County football before we head into basketball.
I would say definitely. But it's honestly, it's a bit shocking seeing that all 4 teams did make it to the playoffs this year. I'd say Lincolnton probably has to be really the happiest with their season, just the fact that they made it into the playoffs again for the first time since, I believe, 2017. So I think Lincoln probably has to be the happiest with their season. But, all the other teams, I think, obviously none of them are left at this point. But I think East Lincoln, obviously, they had a hard-fought season. They had to play a chunk of their year without Tyler Mizell, their star quarterback. So I'd say, it was, like I said, all 4 Lincoln County teams made it into the playoffs, which obviously a little bit easier to do now with, the two Lincoln County teams in, 2 separate conferences, and it's not, just not all the South Fork 2A anymore. But I'd say still, I think most of the teams have to be, happy with their seasons for the most part. I think East Lincoln probably be the most disappointed because I feel like East Lincoln probably had, of all the Lincoln County teams, the most potential to go the distance. But I'd say, all 4 teams making it, I think you have to be pretty happy with that if you're a Lincoln County football.
All right, well, who you guys are the favorite going into next year, Logan, right now?
Oof, I don't know. It's really, I think, I'm going to look for Lincolnton to get better because they were a very young team this year. I still don't know if they're going to be the best Lincoln County team, but I do think, obviously, I expect East Lincoln once again to be up there. West Lincoln, we'll see how they go. I think they just kind of figure out a little bit more fundamentals of maybe just diversifying their offense just a little bit more, that way where they're not so run dependent. I don't know. It's really up for grabs. North Lincoln too. There's there's going to be some changes this off season. I think Lincoln's going to go through the least because they only had, I don't even know if they had 6 or 7 seniors on their entire team. So I think they'll definitely have the least amount of changes that they'll have to fight through. But we'll just see how things go, and it should be. I'd definitely be looking forward to it next year.
All right, Logan, well, I appreciate it. Thanks for everything you do. We'll see you on basketball soon. We may have to need you on some football stuff. We don't know how it's going to go going forward, but I want you to take care, and I'll talk to you next week. And we may have basketball games for you folks next week in Lincoln County. Don't know, but we'll get back to you. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for that. I want to thank you and Matt Chapman and Jason Sane for doing everything you do in Lincoln County here and have been in the last year and this whole year, because we played in the spring as well too. So thank you, Logan, for everything you do, buddy.
All right, well, thank you, man. You have a good night.
All right, Logan Baker with the West Lincoln Rebels, Lincoln County Broadcast, WLON. Dennis, them and East Lincoln fall tonight, 42-3 to Statesville. East Lincoln does, and West Lincoln falls 47-0 to Maiden. And we should have Paul Foster giving us a call right now. Any other last comments on Lincoln County?
Well, the question I had was, he's talking about next year.
Mm-hmm.
How does that 3 points that East Lincoln scored tonight sit with them for the whole next year until practice starts?
I'll say this, Dennis. If Statesville wins the state championship, it might not mean anything.
Yeah.
Because Statesville has been nasty. In 11 games, they've given up 92 points.
Yep.
So was it 8.5 a game?
And they're good. They're good. And you could be they did, to us what they've done to other teams.
Yeah.
But 3 points and your season's over. Now you got to sit and look at that.
All right, now we got Paul Foster on the phone. North Row and Cavaliers overtime victory in Jefferson tonight. Chase falls at Reedsville tonight, so Rutherford County's run comes to an end as well. So no more Lincoln, no more Rutherford, and we've got we'll tell you who we got left here. We got 9 teams left in the area, and we're going to talk about that. Or 8, I think now. 9 teams left in there. Yeah, 9 teams left in the area. Now, Paul was out at Jefferson tonight in an overtime thriller, and we thought they was going to pull it off. Griffons fall, though, 34-28 against the North Rowan Cavaliers. Paul, you there?
Hey, I'm here, Kevin.
Hey, Paul. First of all and foremost, thank you for everything you did this year. Jonathan wasn't there tonight. You had Chris Norman helping you out tonight. Thank him as well. I guess let's just start. Give us a quick synopsis of how that game went, Jefferson and North Rowan, and how you ended up in overtime.
Yeah, when you start breaking down and looking at second-round matchups, I think this had to be one of the best one going on in the state tonight. Both these teams came in with 7-3 overall records. They both had some similarities. Both had talented quarterbacks. The running game was a big part of how these teams moved the ball. But Thomas Jefferson led throughout the entire night until we go into overtime. North Rowan gets the ball first and scores. And, of course, Thomas Jefferson is unable to score in overtime, and that's how the game wrapped up. But every time Thomas Jefferson scored, North Rowan responded. So we went from 7-7, 14-all, 21-all, then 28-all till the very end. And the bad part at the end is North Rowan scores the touchdown, goes up by 6 in overtime, but then the extra point is blocked and no good. So we're thinking, okay, Thomas Jefferson scored the touchdown. They've got a great kicker and a young man whose last name is Gilling, and maybe they wrap this thing up. Well, they're unable to get in with their 3 previous downs. It becomes 4th down. The quarterback, Jorgensen, who was a senior, throws the perfect shot through all kinds of traffic. I've never seen so many people in the end zone, but everybody knew what was going to be going down. But he hits his receiver in the very back of the end zone where you almost are stepping out. The ball hits both palms of his hands, but the bad news is the receiver dropped the pass. He did not bring it in for the catch, and that's how it wrapped up. So it was devastating. There were players down on their knees in agony, fans in tears. Just one of them nights, man. It was a heck of a game.
Well, Paul, that's what we want is the close games. We love the close games, and wish Jefferson was moving on. How does Jefferson look like going into next season? Here in this 1A conference, and they've been pretty competitive the last few years. How do they look going as far as juniors and sophomores?
That's going to be one of the big things. It's kind of the head scratcher right now. They're losing a lot of talent. They've got some 12 starters that will not be back. Dakota Twitting, the big receiver's on his way to Virginia. Jorgensen, the young hardy quarterback, will not be back, and several other key players. So, and also Coach Jerry Cash, who has coached high school football for what seems like forever. It sounds like he is retiring. So I think there's going to have to be some new people step up. I'm not really sure right now what Thomas Jefferson will look like, but it's going to be a lot of new names being called next season for sure.
Well,
go ahead.
I was just going to ask you, Paul, about Coach Cash. He's sort of like your dad and I. He's got a few miles on him, and he was a successful coach at Chesney for many years, and then, of course, coached over at East Rutherford and has come over to Thomas Jefferson and had much success over there. And I was just wondering if there was any hint over there about how long he might continue to do that.
Coach Cash never came out and told myself and some members of the media that this was it, but a lot of the people that actually work with him, some of the people within the school, have kind of alluded to saying this is probably it for Coach Cash. So I wouldn't be surprised, that he makes that official announcement soon. I hope I'm wrong, and like Chris Norman said on the air tonight, it's so hard to walk away that maybe he, changes his mind. But, he certainly has been around for a lot of years and always been successful. no matter where he's been, and that includes some time in South Carolina too, as you know, Dennis.
Well, I'm just being tongue-in-cheek here, Paul, but was Chris over there tonight auditioning for that job? Should it come open?
You know, me and Chris used to work for some other media outlets in college football in years past. It's been 7 years since we had done that, so it was so nice that he filled in for JB tonight. He came in wearing that Alabama hat as usual. You know old Chris, but enjoyed working with him tonight. It's always good when your color man is a former head football coach.
And he's probably talking about them ribs he ate down there at some rib shack one time.
He loves some good ribs from Alabama in particular. That's right.
Well, Paul, we've enjoyed having you broadcast this year. We've expanded our horizons to Rutherford County with WAGY, and you were the perfect guy to come in and handle that chore for us. And you managed to get that guy to help you out tonight. I don't know how you sweet-talked him into it, and I don't know how much that cost you, but you guys did a good job, and we appreciate all that you've done throughout the year.
Well, thank you guys for what you do. And, you know, as far as for both Chase and Thomas Jefferson, I know it's a tough night right now, but they both had excellent seasons, and we'll hope for the best next season. And as far as Chase goes, we do know that the talented running back McCombs will be back for one more season.
That's what I was about to ask before you get off. Real quick, handicap the rest of Rutherford County right now with Chase returning, McCombs, East Rutherford maybe will have a team, and then RS Central. I don't know if anybody's talked about it or not, but McCombs, is he eligible or available to go back to East? Didn't he come from East Rutherford? And then obviously you could go to Thomas Jefferson if you wanted. So just, asking questions, Dennis.
Throwing that out there. Stirring the pot is what he's doing.
Yeah, he was at East Rutherford and some other probably 5 or 6 players that ended up on everybody else's team from Thomas Jefferson to RS Central and so on, were at East but decided to go elsewhere. Of course, there was no varsity team, so I don't know. He seems, from what I hear, he's pretty happy with Chase. But we'll just wait and see. But if he does come back, even though Chase will lose some other starting quarterback Boykins, I think that still gives them a chance to be pretty good, and hopefully they've got, I think, some decent defenders coming back as well.
Okay, I was just being curious about it because that's not really a situation where, that's a kind of a weird situation where, we don't have many situations. What I mean is that you move because you don't have a football team much. You move, people move for different reasons, but that don't happen much. So I don't know if you had heard or anybody talked about any of these players possibly returning back to East for that or not. Just putting it out there. Just asking.
Well, maybe he should check out the housing accommodations in Boiling Springs or something.
No, don't listen to Dennis.
I mean, Marty's a senior. Talk to Marty. Talk to Marty.
Golly. All right, Paul. Thanks for giving us a call, and good luck. And we'll probably need you on some more stuff here coming up in the fall and maybe in the spring.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Oh, and enjoy Coach K's last season. All us Carolina people are going to.
I got no words for you, Dennis. Thank you. Good night.
Bye, Paul.
Have a good night, Paul Foster. With WAGY 1320 AM 107.5 FM. Chris Norman helped tonight. Jonathan Bland was his main color commentator all through the year. I want to thank Jonathan. Jonathan actually did a game by himself a few weeks ago, Dennis, because he didn't find anybody else to help him and didn't notify us. I could have sent somebody up there. Yeah. But Jonathan did a fantastic job. I want to thank both of them for everything they do up there on our sister station. We've got I'm going to do the top 10. You finally got Tom in. Just give me a second, Tom. Well, I'm not going to go through it, but of the top, we got 9 teams left in our area, coverage area, in our conferences. Dennis, 5 of the 9 are conference champions. The Big South 3A has 4 of those teams still left in the playoffs with Forest View. And so I really didn't think Forest View would be at this point. And then a lot of people were probably surprised that East Gaston is alive instead of Burns. But when you look at the bracket, East Gaston at the 24 seed may have had an easier road, Dennis, than Burns did at the 12 seed to get this far. And
well, to finish where they did in that conference,
right,
they had to play Shelby and Burns, and basically that was the cream of that conference. Whereas somebody in some of those other conferences might have been the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed and really not have played anybody.
So Burns gets Hendersonville in the first round.
Yeah, the number 1 seed.
In the second round, the champion of that, and the defending state champs, right, from the spring.
It's all about timing. It's all about
East Gaston got Community School of Davidson, which was a 1A team, and then Forest Hills, which was a 25 seed. So, just between those two games, it seems like East Gaston got an easier road. All right, we got Tom hooked up in there, JP. I think. Tom, are you there? He didn't. I didn't get it.
Yes, I'm here, Kevin. How you doing, buddy?
Are you home yet?
Oh, no. We're probably in Rutherford County. We've just been trying to get on. I know all the other broadcasters have been calling in and reporting in, and we didn't have a post-game show, so we wanted to get some of our post-game sponsors, and just want to thank the Stamey Funeral Home, who usually sponsors our post-game show. Due to audio difficulties, we didn't do it on the air, so we're doing it now. So thank you to Stamey, and wanted to recognize a few of our young men for the post-game awards.
Yeah, Tom, feel free to do anything and everything as far as this game goes. I'm going to roll through the highlights posted by Matt Royster of this game as you're going through. Folks listening to the game, watching the game tonight, we know that we had audio problems. We have no excuses. We have no reasons for it and why. I just want to apologize. Don't know how. Don't know why. The video came in fine, and the video was great. It was great to watch the game. And but Tom, I just want, like I said, I want to apologize to everybody out there listening in Bulldogs land. Wish we could have done a better job for you folks. But we got the video out for you guys, and Tom and Danny, good job going all the way up there, and Trent and everybody hooking everything up. So you start off with, I got Ben Mooney of Burns, the 20-yard pass to lead 7-0. Burns leads Hendersonville to start the game, Tom.
Yeah, there was a good drive to go down the field and score, but immediately they gave up the touchdown on the kickoff return. And it was a lot of big plays for Hendersonville on offense, including, that big special teams play. But we had our defensive player of the game. Danny, who's our defensive player of the game sponsor? Make sure we get this. We're riding down the road here. We're trying to turn the light on in the car. Danny's hunting it.
Come on,
No,
Acre.
Danny. That's a button, a black button up underneath the light, Danny. Nope. To the right. There you go. That one. There you go.
Not the ejector
okay,
seat,
we're good
Danny.
Okay, our post-game defensive player of the game sponsor, Danny. Yeah, that's Hojo Powersports and Equipment sponsoring our defensive player of the game, and that was Azari Brown. We didn't get with Joe to get the defensive stats, but Azari had a bunch of tackles, had a few for loss, seemed like he was in on a lot of defensive plays. So Azari Brown is our Hojo Powersports defensive player of the game. So sorry we didn't get that on the air, and then our offensive player of the game, we had, I believe, Ryan Thompson, correct, Danny?
We did.
And who's our sponsor for that?
Offensive player of the game is sponsored by Hojo Powersports.
Okay, that was our defensive player of the game. Okay, so we have the Falston Pharmacy sponsoring that one. So we had the Hojo Powersports and Falston Pharmacy sponsoring our offensive and defensive player of the game. And the stat for Ryan Thompson, what do you have, Danny? 7 catches for 100-plus yards, right? Yeah, 7 catches for 127 yards. So big night for Thompson receiving. And then I don't know if you caught it, Kevin, but Jeremiah Norris went out early in the game, just took a hard tackle and tried to come back, had some kind of leg issue. But Jeter and came in for the rest and had how many yards there?
Carried about 10 times.
120 yards, including a touchdown. So Jeter's first name again, Matt, make sure I'm saying that right. Jakari, right? Jakari Jeter, who hadn't had a whole lot of playing time at running back because he's been playing on the defensive line, playing a little defensive end.
but he had to come in and play running back. But 10 carries, 120 yards, and a touchdown, which included a big 60-yard run that set up his touchdown. So Jeter was our overall player of the game, sponsored by S&R Auto Sales. So thank you to our post-game sponsors and Stamey Funeral Home for sponsoring the post-game. Sorry we didn't get those on the air, but we want to make sure we got those on your show. So thanks for giving us that chance, Kevin.
Well, Tom, we're scrolling through the highlights here, and one of the questions I've had, and a lot of people, this is the first time I've seen any of Hendersonville, and throughout the whole year, they've put a ton of points on the board. What is the key to Hendersonville's offense that you believe that allows them to score the points the way they do? Again tonight with 38 on a pretty decent Burns Bulldogs defense.
Well, Gosnell is a really good quarterback. I mean, he's got a really good arm, and he can run the ball a little bit. And they run some old time speed option, not just read option, but they can run the speed option very well. And they run a lot of RPOs, which sounds simple. But, Kevin, at that level, I think that's tough. The quarterback's got the ball in the running back's belly, and then he's got to make a read, pull it out, make a throw. And he's able to do that pretty effectively.
We're looking at the 51-yard. We're looking at the 51-yard touchdown. That was exactly what you're talking about. Was a run pass option.
Yeah.
I was trying to see that Hendersonville had 2 or 3 linemen about 3 or 4 yards downfield block, and they almost got to 5 yards downfield on that play. Because I always wonder about that. Like, how do the linemen know what's going on behind them for them to hold on to the ball that long? Gosnell kept the ball. He fakes it, and then he takes it left. And he got all the way to the line of scrimmage before he threw that ball, and right down the sideline to Leonard Benfield for the touchdown. That made it 24-7. So I guess that's what you're referring to on those.
Yeah, and it's just a higher level thing. It's something that you may think looks simple, but he's got to read that defensive end, have that ball in the running back's belly, then pull it out and make a throw. And he's able to do that very effectively. And then I said, so speed option too, which, Kevin, you don't see a whole lot of speed option. Well, they'll run the speed option. It seems like sometimes they'll run it out of the shotgun.
Yeah.
And they're able to do that effectively as well. And they're pretty dynamic. They've got a couple of good wide receivers. And like I said, I think their quarterback played very, very well. They can run it, they can throw it, and their defense on the defensive side of the ball, they're very good. They forced 3 turnovers. Well, actually 4. Late in the game, now Mooney's trying to force the ball, and they were able to get some interceptions. But in the second half, it's 4 turnovers. So you've got an opportunistic defense and a pretty high-powered offense. And like I said, they run the kickback. Kevin, they had a field goal kicker come in and nail a 40-yard field goal. It was all 3 phases of the game.
I was about to say something about the field goal kicker. We've got the highlight of that, and that looked like a booming kick. I'm trying to figure out. It was about. What was it? It was right on
at
the
40 yards.
Yeah, it was exactly 40 yards, and he kicked it. Beautiful kick right down the middle.
But if you can run, I'm just saying, if you can run the run-pass option and you've got the quarterback, I mean, really, he's got a big arm. Now, it seems like it takes him a while to load up.
Yeah.
Like his arm motion's a little long, but he's got a little zip on the ball, and he can make some higher level throws. And plus, you got to have a pretty high football IQ to run that run pass option. You see it in college. You'll see it in college. You'll see it in the pros. It's a little harder to run at the high school level, but he's an experienced quarterback, and he does it well. And just give them some credit. Now, there was a lot of flags, and a lot of the Burns folks aren't going to be real happy with the number of unsportsmanlike personal fouls and things. And with the refs, I think it was a lot of times it was like on a punt, Burns was obviously offside and they gave Hendersonville a first down. Up and talked about it for 3 minutes. I mean, what are you talking about? It's offside. And maybe they got the call right, but in the officiating world, it's optics, If you're discussing an offside call for 2 or 3 minutes, it sort of looks like you don't know what you're doing.
And I think that kind of created some animosity between the Burns staff and the officiating crew. And then there was a lot of unsportsmanlike, Evans, a lot of unsportsmanlike, and that hurt Burns too. A couple times I had him stopped, and the unsportsmanlike penalties gave him a first down. So that didn't help. But all being said, I think that Hendersonville, the better team, won. I think Burns had a chance to win if they would have played a little bit better, cut down the penalties. But at Hendersonville, moving on, good luck to them. I guess they're going to play Reedsville. I guess Reedsville defeated Chase, correct?
Yeah,
Correct.
Reedsville won big time tonight, 56-24.
Oh, Tom,
Yeah,
it was not that lucky that you got to draw them in the second round, if you would. We were talking earlier about some teams, it's who you end up playing and how the seeds match up and everything. Burns could have probably gone a little bit further, another round or two more, had their matchups been a little bit different. But for next year, there was an article today in the paper about Mooney and his receivers and how they're working and trying to get better. He's only a sophomore. And so what's Burns got looking forward to next year coming back that could really make them competitive in this conference next year?
Well, Mooney's coming back. Thompson's going to be back. Haynes has got another year. Jeter, Norris, offensive side of the ball. They got a little bit to replace on the defensive side of the ball. Arguably their best defensive player is Ari Brown. He's graduating. Hunter Davis made a ton of tackles. He's graduating. Lance Beatty played very well on the defensive line. He's graduating. Kavion Hopper is another one who's graduating. So they've got some pieces to fill on the defensive side of the ball. And if it's a thing that's a premium these days, Dennis, once you get down to the 2A and you've only got about 50 players, 60 players in your program, is you start hunting around for size,
Yeah.
and they're losing a little size, graduating, and like I said, Azari Brown, that's a big hole to fill. Azari and Davis and Lance Beatty really come to mind as three seniors who there's going to be big shoes to fill on defense. But, with Mooney and Thompson and Norris and, Jeter played very well, and a few others. One just more popped in my mind, Chaitlin Backus, who's really played outstanding defensive back down the stretch. He's graduating. That's going to be another one that has to be replaced. So we'll just have to see. Some pieces are in place. But, I'm always the guy who's worried about the defensive side of the ball. They had a good JV team, Dennis. They didn't get a chance to see him much. I was too busy referencing some American football some European football on Thursdays. But I think the JV team played very well, and they're going to have to pull some guys up and fill some gaps. And Coach Devine and his crowd, his crew of coaches always do a good job. So I got faith in them for preparing us next year moving forward.
All right, Tommy, I'll see you in the morning. You guys take care and be careful coming in the rest of the night. And I guess we'll be getting bed about the same time here shortly. Take care, Danny. And want to take
Danny. Danny and Matt just appreciate them doing a good job helping cover the broadcast, and we'll see you in the morning.
Want to thank Matt for everything he's done this year, helping with Burns. I may could use him next week. I'll say something to him if I need to. Then want to thank Danny Egger for doing everything he does. As always, for Chairman Sports, I'm sure they'll be looking at some basketball coming up here next week or two with Tim. And but want to thank all you guys and for everything you guys do. And I'll see you in the morning, Tom, on the Saturday Morning Sports Talk.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Dennis. See you guys later.
All right, that's Tom Sinafani and the Burns Bulldogs. JP, we got to take a break. It's been a while. When we come back, we'll finish up the show with our highlights that we haven't showed you and all the scores on KDCBroadcasting.com.
It's time to get your 2 cents worth. That's right. Everybody likes to get their 2 cents worth, and now you can at Lane Express Food Mart number 2 at 601 Riverside Drive in Lincoln. When you mention this radio ad, you get an extra 2 cents off per gallon of gas off the lowest gas prices around. It all adds up quick. Plus, save on cigarettes and smoking accessories in their smoke shop. See Sandra and Jay today and get your 2 cents worth at Lane Express Food Mart number 2, 601 Riverside Drive in Lincoln. Open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sundays, 8:30 a.m. till 9 p.m.
It's a November to remember at Carolina Auto Direct with the area's largest selection of vehicles and a full parts and service center. Why buy anywhere else? And did I mention the CAD way? That means we give our customers a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, a lifetime state inspections, and a lifetime of tire rotations. Carolina Auto Direct is the only choice for all your automotive needs. Also, make sure you watch out for the big red CAD fire truck coming to a town near you, collecting toys on behalf of Toys for Tots. Visit us at 484 North Generals Boulevard, Lincolnton, North Carolina, or on the web at carolinaautodirect.com, or give us a call at 704-240-3701.
Make the most of this shopping season with a fixed-rate Visa credit card from Carolina Federal Credit Union in Cherryville. Rates as low as 10.9% and 1% cash back plus rewards. Find out more and apply at carolinafcu.org/Visa or visit the branch at 1200 East Church Street in Cherryville.
We're going to rock around the clock tonight.
You can rock around the clock in your new rocker recliner from Carolina Furniture Mart in Lincoln. Right now, they've got more recliners than Carter's got liver pills. All types, over 100 in stock, ready for your home. Rocker recliners, wall-hugging recliners, power recliners, extra wide recliners, recliners for extra big men, swivel glider recliners, and 8 styles of lift chairs. Have it delivered or listen to this deal. Pick it up for an extra special discount at Carolina Furniture Mart, 644 North Aspen Street in Lincoln, and see their page at whatsupshopper.com. The Christmas shop is now open at Carolina Hardware Garden and Pool Center in Lincoln. Hurry in now for the best selection. See their selection of beautiful Christmas trees, plus all kinds of Christmas decorations, Christmas ribbons and bows. And of course, Carolina Hardware Garden and Pool Center has plenty of Christmas gift ideas too. Shop the Christmas shop, now open at Carolina Hardware Garden and Pool Center, 969 Reachville Road in Lincoln. Online at carolinahardware.com and see their page at whatsupshopper.com. It's time to head on into Classic Volkswagen in Gastonia, where you can get 0% financing for up to 60 months on select models. Come in now and take a look at the all-new Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport. And right now, get a new 2021 Volkswagen Tiguan S with front-wheel drive for only $26,169, or the new 2021 Volkswagen Passat SE with front-wheel drive, $424 per month. Come in for all the details at Classic Volkswagen of Gastonia, 4417 Wilkinson Boulevard, online at classicvwgastonia.com. You may wonder what makes us different here at First Federal Savings Bank. We have been intertwined with this community for over 80 years. Here at First Federal Savings Bank, we take pride in Lincoln County, and that's why you see us donating time and resources to local charities and the schools in our community. Being a hometown bank is more than just a saying for us. It's about action and impact in the community in such a way that present and future generations are proud to call Lincoln County home. Stop in and see us here at First Federal Savings Bank today. Equal housing lender and member FDIC.
If you're ready to make the great escape, do it with the #1 brand on the water. Yamaha Wave Runners are the most premium personal watercraft on the market, with industry-first features and exciting new products like the all-new 2021 VX Series with audio packages, the much-anticipated Superjet, and the new race-ready GP Series. This is Wave Runner country. See one today at Full Throttle Powersports, located at 100 Indian Walk off I-85 in Lowell.
And we're back on the Fourth Hour Powersports post-game show with Kevin and Dennis. And they're about to finish the show.
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up here in the next 10, 15 minutes as we're going to go through all the games and matchups and thoughts and ideas to go through. Dennis, real quick, I'm going to give an update on CJP on the power poll.
Yeah, power poll.
Now, remember we were just talking a minute ago about this, and the deal is that we have 9 teams still left in the power poll. So the number 10 team will actually be an eliminated team. And if people wonder how does the power poll work, well, Dennis, you get points for victory, 3 for a 3A, 2 for a 2, 1 for a 1. Losses are the opposite. Now, Here's the thing about this. In the playoffs, Dennis, once you're out,
you're out.
You're out. You go to the, you don't go to the bottom of the poll, but you go behind everybody in the poll. Everybody that's still in the poll, basically is what I'm saying. That's still in the playoffs. So the number one spot that's been eliminated is the number 10 team in our power poll now, as you folks can see on the screen. Bunker Hill loses tonight, and they fall from 4 to 10 on the season. That's not where they'll end up, but that's where they are right now. More than likely, Dennis, they're going to end up close to about the 8 range. I'll say the 8 range. Unless Forest View wins 2 more games, Bunker Hill will finish probably right at 8. Now, the next 9 teams are still active and in the playoffs. With 6 power points, the number 9 team, the East Gaston Warriors, they were number 16 last week. They weren't even in our top 15 with everybody losing in front of them. They jump up to number 9 with 6 power points, 8-4 on the season. Forest View's number 8 now with 15 power points on the season, and they're 7-5. Number 7 with a win tonight over Burns, Dennis, they fall 1 spot. Hendersonville falls tonight from the 6th seed or 6th spot in our power poll to the 7. They have 22 power points, 10-1 on the season. Shelby wins tonight. Big time. They fall in the power poll. Dennis, 1 spot from 5 to 6. They're 11-1 with 22 power points. They get the tiebreaker against Hendersonville with the better record. So, Bunker Hill 10, East Gaston 9, Forest View 8, Hendersonville 7, Shelby 6. South Point is 5th right now with 23 power points on the season at 9-3. Crest are tied with them with 23 power points. So Crest and South Point with 23 apiece. Crest gets the tiebreaker with the better record and defense than South Point. So Crest in the 4, South Point 3. Maiden at 12-0. They fall from the 2 spot after winning 47-0, Dennis. 11-0.
Never mind. I'm not going to say anything.
47-0, and you fall. It couldn't be a better poll. That's the greatest thing in the world. Kings Mountain moves up to number 2. They're 10-2 overall with another playoff victory. So they move up to number 2 with 27 total power points, 1 ahead of Maiden. And Statesville continues their dominant force. They've been number 1 pretty much the whole season, folks. 11-0, 34 power points. They've just made a living in our number 1 seed in our team. So our top rated in our counties is Kings Mountain. Statesville's in our conferences, and Maiden is too. Lincoln County gets knocked out tonight. They go 0-2 tonight. They went 2-2 last week in the playoffs, so a grand total of 2-4 in the playoffs for Lincoln County this year. Rutherford County both won last week and both lost this week, so they went 2-2 overall in the playoffs. Cleveland County still got 3 teams alive. They're 7-1 in the playoffs. And Gaston County has 1, 2, is that it? 3 teams. 3 teams still alive in East Gaston, Forest View, and South Point. So Gaston County with 3 teams still alive. So that's who you got left in that. That's our Power Poll rankings. And like I said, they change every week depending on how many teams you beat, who you beat, and where you end up and following stuff. All right, so let's go over, Dennis, the scores one more time tonight, and we'll do the matchups, and we'll do early thoughts on this.
All right.
Okay, so let's start in the 1A, and we don't know much about a lot of these teams, so we're going to run through fast through this. Murphy at Eastern Randolph, number 9 at number 1. Murphy wins tonight, 22-10 over Mountain Heritage. They'll be going to Eastern Randolph, who won 55-20 over Drone in a 9-1 matchup. North Rowan is at the 12. They beat Thomas Jefferson tonight in overtime, 34-28. They'll be going to Robbinsville, who won 46-18. Dennis, you got a feeling about that bracket? Who might come out of there? East Randolph, Murphy, North Rowan, or Robbinsville?
Well, I'm thinking that for North Rowan, and the price of gas these days, that's going to be an expensive trip to go up to Robbinsville. So they're going to lose one way or the other. I'm looking at Murphy and Eastern Randolph. That's a pretty good little road trip for those people, too. here again, the High School Athletic Association in seeding these 1A schools has a difficult time, Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're few and far between.
Yep.
And that's what we see has worked out here. You've got good teams, but, man, the travel distance is going to be Murphy should have played Robbinsville, and North Rowan should have played East Randolph.
Do you think the 1s and 4s should only have 32 teams instead of 64? If they're going to split them that way, they're supposed to be evenly split, and it's not somehow. I don't know how that. They're supposed to be evenly split. All right, Mitchell will be hosting Thomasville after winning tonight. Mitchell wins tonight, 49-14 over Swain County. Thomasville wins 34-0 over South Stokes. So the 6th seed Thomasville Bulldogs will go to the number 3 seed Mitchell Mountaineers. Then in the other part of the bracket, Starmount won 27-20 over Andrews. So the Starmount Rams will travel to what I've seen has just been a dominant team, and they probably should be the 1 seed. The Mount Airy Granite Bears, Dennis. They've just been on fire. In fact, while we're talking about, you was asking about real quick about those rosters a minute ago, that East Surrey Monroe.
Yeah.
East Surrey has 48. Monroe, 40. So East Surrey moving up from the 1A has more football players, almost a whole side of the football.
Than Monroe has moving down. So that I'm telling you, to me, that's just the most important thing is the roster size as opposed to school size. So let me give you Mount Airy scores, Dennis. You ready for this? Go.
48-0, 75-0, 49-0, 49-0. That's the last 4 games.
They've either got a heck of a defense or no competition.
40 to 80, 120, 199, 208, 213, 221-0 in the last 4 games. How about 45-6 for the game before that? East Wilkes messed around and accidentally scored on them. North Stokes, they won 49-0. They won 43-0 the week before that. South Stokes accidentally scores on them. 6 points. 48-6 in that game. Ashe County 55-0. Surrey Central 62-0. Drone accidentally scores in that game 56-6, and they win the first game 43-0. Mount Airy has outscored their opponents this year, Dennis, 622-18.
Well, don't
3 accidental touchdowns on the season, and those may even be against the JVs.
Don't tell Shannon that, and I'll pick Mount Airy next week in the pregame show.
Maybe he'll do his but again, when you look at the seeds, Dennis, what did Eastern Randolph have to do to be better than what I just read from Mount Airy? In 12 games, we're gonna do the math on this real quick. How about 622 divided by 12? They're averaging 51.8 to 1.5.
And how much are they giving up?
1.5.
1.5.
They're giving up less than a safety a game and scoring 51.8. So it's 52.
Them boys must be pretty good on
They're
defense.
averaging 52-2.
Wonder if they go both ways.
I doubt it. Good God, that team's good. And 55 players on their roster, Dennis. 1A school.
55 players.
55 roster players.
Well, that goes back to what we were
I think I'm right on that. I don't like to pat myself too much on the back, but I think I'm right on that roster sizes. All right, over in the 2A, East Gaston tonight, they win over at Forest Hills 41-21. They will now go to Shelby next week in a 24-1 matchup, and that Shelby won tonight 42-20. So East Gaston will be at Shelby next week. That will be on 1390 AM again, just like we did this week, and the online stream. So we will split Crest and Shelby broadcast again next week in Cleveland County. Reedsville wins tonight against Chase 56-24. They host Hendersonville. And again, Reedsville's a perennial state champion. Shelby's a perennial state champion. Hendo is the defending state champion. There's little East Gaston sitting there like, wow, how do we get into this mess? Salisbury, the 6, won tonight 49-0. They'll be going to the 3 seed Maiden, who won 47-0 over West Lincoln. Salisbury beat Bunker Hill 49-0. Maiden 47-0 over West Lincoln. Hendersonville wins tonight 38-13 over Burns. and they'll be going to Reedsville again, like I said, that beat Chase 56-24.
Wait a minute. You beat Burns, and your prize is you get to go to Reedsville.
Well, then if you win that, your prize is you get to go to Shelby.
Yeah.
Dennis, if Hendersonville comes out of that, or whoever comes out of that bracket, whether if it was Hendersonville or Burns, they beat each other. You beat Reedsville, you beat at Shelby, at Reedsville. That's a state champion right there. The 2As are pretty good bracket. This 2 and 3A brackets. In the bottom part of the bracket, the winner to face the Salisbury Maiden winner will be Monroe at East Surrey. We was just talking about that. East Surrey with 48 players, Monroe with 40. East Surrey was a 1A. They move up 2. Monroe moves from 3 to 2. And we've got East Surrey and Monroe. Winner will face Maiden and Salisbury. Monroe wins over Robinson tonight 60-29, and East Surrey wins over Forbush 37-20.
Well, let's get to that 3A bracket. I find that intriguing.
Over in the 3A, Kings Mountain wins tonight 27-17 over West Charlotte. That means they'll travel to Dudley, the Dudley Panthers, who won 53-10 over the Ledford Panthers.
And Dudley's pretty good, I hear.
Well, they won the first game 60-0, and then they won tonight 53-10. So 2 games, 113-10. It's not too terrible. They'll be hosting those Mountaineers next week. High Brighton will be at Statesville next week. High Brighton won tonight 27-14 over Concord Spiders, and Statesville with a huge win. They continue their undefeated ways. 11-0. They've given up 89 points.
Hey, do you know what the back end of a Greyhound looks like?
He's got a muffler.
No.
A rear window.
Wrong Greyhound. But that's the one that's going to feel like it got run over by. I don't know either, but High Brighton's going to find out next week.
All right. I was you're thinking mushing dogs. Like the leader's got a different view than the rest of them.
Yeah.
I thought that's what you were asking me. No, Greyhound's got a muffler and maybe a rear. They might have a rear view, a mirror, windshield wiper. All right, where are we at? The upper part of the 3A bracket.
Yeah. Intriguing.
The Big South Conference tournament is in the other part. They might as well just let Kings Mountain Crest play again and take North Davis and let them play, and then just play this conference out.
North Davis can play Dudley. That's a better travel for them.
For everybody. Kings Mountain Crest as well. Forest View will be at South Point in the shortest drive of the week, and then Crest will be hosting North Davidson. Like I said, South Point, Forest View, and Crest all there in that same conference. One of them, if Crest wins and North Davidson, whoever wins that game will be hosting whoever wins the South Point Forest View game. If Kings Mountain wins, they'll be on the road no matter what at High Brighton or Statesville. Nothing left in the 1A for us to
they got all that beautiful turf over there, and they never get to play in the championship round.
Not in the playoffs, do they? Monroe at East Surrey, again 7-2 in the 2A. They'll play the winners of Salisbury and Maiden 6 versus 3. Hendersonville 5 at Reedsville 4. East Gaston 24 at Shelby 1. All right, Dennis. Any other final news and thoughts before we get out of here tonight?
The thing. If you're going to advance, it doesn't matter who you play. The old adage is win in advance.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do what it takes. You may see some teams changing their strategies here based on their competition and what they have to do to win, particularly among the lower seed teams. They may revert to running rather than trying to pass because the team that they're playing, the upper team, has a brilliant pass defense, or they may switch and run the ball because of that same factor. The bottom line comes down to this, Kevin. You have to make fewer mistakes than your opponent. You have to take advantage of the opportunities that you have, and you don't fumble the ball. And this goes to the point where every little mistake could cost you. Look at some of the scores we saw tonight, like Thomas Jefferson. They're out. Did they play a bad game? No. The kid dropped the ball in the end zone that could have won the game for him. Those are the breaks that you get in the playoffs.
You're exactly right on that. I think that at this point, a lot of it, here in the third round, we're going to have kicking game may be big. South Point Forest View, that was 17-14 in the first one. Both of them have good soccer programs. Kicking game in a lot of these comes into play, and I think the turnovers is the biggest issue. It's hard to get kids not to turn the ball. It's hard to get pros not to turn the ball over, but the kids as well.
That works.
It's tough. All right, folks, we're gonna call it a night. I'm gonna pull up our radio finish here. Dennis, if you'll hit computer there for me, and then
and we will be back next week, folks.
Yep. Next Friday night, we will have this show, the Red Zone, and the Postgame show again. We'll have all of our shows. We'll have live audio action from Crest and Shelby, and we may even have some basketball updates as well next week too. Dennis, there for you.
Some of these teams that lost tonight will be playing next Friday night, but it'll be basketball.
Wrong sport. All right, folks, we'll see you next week, next Friday night, on the Full Throttle Powersports post-game show on KDCBroadcasting.com.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Incredible man, I only do things incredible can. Cause I am seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me. Cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you. Cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.